721 KTRS Radio. Lots has been made over the last couple of weeks and months about schools and what's going to happen with Normandy and unaccredited school districts. There was a report that was given to the state government which talked about some sort of government oversight and disbanding school boards. If I have that right, Carolyn Randazzo, you were with the Education Task Force Chair. Thank you for joining us here on the Big 550 KTRS.
Thank you, McGraw.
Did I have that right? Was that sort of what the proposal was, to sort of take the school districts and the school boards and just have it more or less state run by a state school board? Is that a safe way of saying it?
Well, what you're referring to are the achievement districts. That's one name for them.
Right.
And what's been proposed by several of the proposals that have been submitted to the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education is to take all of the unaccredited schools across the state and all the various districts and place them in one district that is pretty much run by someone at the state level. And what this also involves is, instead of accrediting whole school districts, they would accredit individual schools in a district. So if your school is accredited, you stay in your local district, and that will be governed, will be administered from your regular administration office that's already in place. If you're unaccredited, you would be assigned to this achievement district, and there would be state guidance of that district.
Is that a good idea or a bad idea?
We feel at Metropolitan Congregations United that that's a bad idea.
Why?
It's segregation. You're creating an educational ghetto when you do that. We're saying these schools are troubled, they're struggling, we're going to put them in a separate district. Separate's never equal.
Well, they're already in a separate district, are they not?
Well, yeah, but it's a local district, your Normandy district, Riverview, Ladue, Rockwood, Parkway, and you can go right to your administration building in your community if you have problems, if you want to go in and say, hey, they're doing a great job,
right,
whatever. With this achievement district model, who knows? Your administration office could be in Jefferson City. It could be in Kansas City. It could be somewhere.
I do find it interesting that so many people talk about local control.
Right.
And we don't want the somewhere far away teaching us how to teach our kids, is in favor of taking away local control and centralizing it in Jefferson City.
That's right. That's right.
That makes no sense to me.
I understand. And, we, as a retired teacher, we were always wanting more parent involvement. We want to see our parents in the school buildings, in the classrooms. We want that. You move that away. You move the governance of your school district across the state. That's going to make it really hard to get parents involved.
It was just a proposal.
Right.
And yet this proposal has really touched a nerve, both positive and negative. You would agree with that?
I would agree with that.
What are the likelihoods of this actually being adopted?
It's hard to say how the process works with that. These proposals are made to the State Department of Education.
Right.
Commissioner Nicastro has said that they will consider all the proposals. There's some 6 proposals out there right now.
Right.
They can be viewed on the Missouri Department of Elementary and Secondary Education website, and there is space for comment. And we're encouraging everyone to get on there, read the proposals. They do have summaries because some of them are quite long and some are very short. And make your comments. You only have until February 7th to do that. They need to hear from we the people. We need to bring our values, our civic values, our moral values to this question. I
love the fact that so many people were in favor of school choice and banged the drum for school choice. Now that in essence, for a failing school district, we have school choice, and they don't want school choice anymore.
Because people want their children in their neighborhood school, and we support that.
Right. But the people who were for choice now want to change the choice of the parents in Normandy and Riverview and some of the failing school districts. If you're a parent in Kansas City and the Kansas City is a failing school district, you now have a choice to send your kids somewhere else. And it seems like many, not all, but many people who were talking about school choice now don't want that parent and that kid to have a choice to send their kid to a better school.
That's a good way to put it. We prefer not to call the schools failing schools. I know I'm a teacher every morning. The kids walk in the door and you educate those children.
Right.
And so I hate to hear it called failing. We can call them unaccredited because that's officially what they are.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's, okay, what choice do you want? Our parents who did not transfer their children out of Riverview and Normandy, they made a choice too, and they chose to stay in their neighborhood school.
Yesterday, and we've had guests on here, all sides of the aisle. They talk about Normandy. They say failing. You say unaccredited. They blame the school, they blame the administration, and they blame the teachers. How much of that is fair?
Well, we're all accountable. And every level has to be accountable to our students and to our communities and our families. We all have to be accountable. I also want to add to the list of accountability the state of Missouri. We've had a foundation formula for many years. It has never been fully funded.
What do you mean by that?
That means that the legislature sets this formula.
Mm-hmm.
It's complicated.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't think I fully understand it. Not too many people do.
Mm-hmm.
And then they say we need X amount of dollars to adequately educate our children in the state of Missouri. They've never appropriated the full amount of money that is supposed to take.
Are you insinuating that if Normandy and Riverview Gardens got the full money, they wouldn't be unaccredited?
That's hard to say if they wouldn't be unaccredited, but they would have the resources that our children of poverty need. They need more resources. Kids walk in the door, they're hungry, they're cold. Who knows where they slept last night if they're homeless? Maybe they were on the couch in grandma's front room.
Mm-hmm.
They come to school, they're worried about that. Where am I going to sleep tonight? Am I going to have lunch? Well, at school, you're going to have lunch. Those kinds of things. They're worried about that. They can't concentrate, or it's very difficult. I'm not going to say they can't. It's very difficult for them to concentrate and to learn, and that impacts their achievement, obviously.
Go ahead.
In this response, you have profiles of successful districts. What district do you think out there that Missouri could actually use that would make our district successful?
I think any of our accredited districts and across the state of Missouri, they are all using strategies that work. And education, it's really hard to say there's one set method, strategy that's going to work in every situation.
Or otherwise, what are we doing wrong? Why do we have so many unaccredited districts?
Well, I think a better question is this. To compare Ladue to Normandy is unfair.
Absolutely.
Everyone agrees with that. But is there a school district like Normandy that has the same similar socioeconomic structure that is succeeding?
That is succeeding. We have several, and I'm not trying to toot my own horn from my
Toot it
community.
all you want.
Toot away.
My Ferguson-Florissant School District, we have very similar demographics. We're neighboring. We're not perfect, that's for sure.
Right.
We have our struggles, but we have maintained our accreditation through all the different
What is
forms.
Ferguson and Florissant doing that Normandy's not doing? Toot your own horn.
Toot my own horn.
Besides you.
Okay. We do have, I feel, in my years in the district, we did have good professional development for our teachers. We had
when you say professional development, you mean you had really good teachers?
Or,
you had ongoing continuing education.
Right,
Okay.
exactly. And either we were encouraged to go with outside of our district, or it was brought into our district.
But the teachers were given the resources the resources needed to work with the changing demographics walking through the door.
That's correct.
Yeah, interesting.
That's
all right, where can people find out more?
Where can people find out more? Like I said, go on the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education website to read the plans, to read the proposals that have been made to the department. Make your comments. There is a forum at UMSL on Tuesday evening at 6:30 in the J.C. Penney building where the State Department will hear people's comments about this and their opinions about that. We encourage everybody to get out to that. This is your chance to let your voice be heard.
Carolyn Randazzo, Education Task Force Chair. Thank you very much for coming in.
Thank you, McGraw. Thank you, Kelly.
Thank you.
7:30 KTRS.